It's time to check out these banned Air Jordan 1 Retro Highs from 2011. But before we have a look at these shoes, let's check out the letter from the NBA to Nike banning Michael Jordan's kicks. You'll notice up top is the NBA's logo and letterhead, and the letter is dated February 25th, 1985. It was sent to Nike Inc. at 3900 Southwest Murray Boulevard in Beaverton, Oregon, 97005. Now that's not the current address of Nike World Headquarters, which is located at 1 Bowerman Drive, but this address is not far from where Nike is located, and actually it's sort of in between Nike campus and the Nike company store. You'll see that this letter was written to attention Mr. Rob Strasser, Vice President. Rob Strasser was a VP at Nike for a number of years before actually leaving Nike to head up Adidas America during the sneaker wars. And he brought with him Peter Moore, who was the designer of the original Air Jordan 1. And Strasser and Moore were actually able to convince Sonny Vaccaro to come over and join Adidas as well. There's a great 30 for 30 documentary on right now called The Soul Man. It's about Sonny Vaccaro, who was responsible for getting Michael Jordan to sign his original deal with Nike. And the film sort of follows his career over to when he moved over and worked at Adidas, how he was able to successfully get Kobe Bryant to sign with Adidas, and how while at Adidas he tried to get LeBron James to sign over with Adidas, but that didn't work out so well. Nike ended up offering LeBron $90 million, and LeBron ended up signing with Nike. But if you're interested in learning all about Sonny Vaccaro and the way that the big sneaker brands try to spot the next great talent, check out the movie. You can check it out on ESPN or even on YouTube, where it's been uploaded in 6 separate parts. So Rob Strasser tragically passed away at just 46 years old in 1993. But he wrote his memoirs, a book called Swoosh, The Unauthorized Story of Nike and the Men Who Played There. It's a great unauthorized account of everything that went down in the early days at Nike. I recommend you checking that out too. All right, back to the meat of the letter. Gentlemen, in accordance with our conversations, this will confirm and verify that the National Basketball Association's rules and procedures prohibited the wearing of certain red and black Nike basketball shoes by Chicago Bulls player Michael Jordan on or around October 18, 1984. Sincerely, Russell T. Granick. Russ Granick worked for the NBA for more than 30 years, and actually he was the deputy commissioner for 22 years. He was inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame in 2013. So about the meat of the letter, basically there's 2 things that jump right out. First and foremost, there's no mention whatsoever of the Air Jordan. It simply describes Michael Jordan's offensive shoes as a certain red and black Nike basketball shoe. And secondly, the offensive pair was worn on or around October 18th, 1984. It's worth noting that Michael Jordan did not wear his first pair of Air Jordan 1s until November 17th, 1984. So the black and red Air Jordan 1s that you're looking at here could not have been banned by the NBA on October 18th, 1984, as MJ had never even laced up a pair of Air Jordan 1s at that point. The shoes that were banned by the NBA are the Air Ships in black and red, and incidentally, it's never ever been spotted Michael Jordan playing in an NBA game wearing black and red Air Jordan 1s. But going all the way back to 1985, Nike ran with an ad campaign saying that Michael Jordan's shoes were banned, but that the NBA couldn't stop us from buying and wearing them. Now, the ad was somewhat deceptive because the ad made you think that it was the black and red Air Jordan 1s that were banned, when in actuality, it was the Air Ships. These shoes in front of you right here were released on June 1st, 2011. And they're called the banned Air Jordan 1s because they celebrate the fact that MJ's shoes were banned. But going all the way up to 2011, Nike has kept up this myth that it was the black and red Air Jordan 1 that was banned. When you look at these shoes, there's all sorts of details about something being banned. There's an X on the heel over here. when you're looking in at the insoles right here and the liner, you'll see X's. We'll look down here, and it reads, the insoles read, on September 15th, 1985, Nike created a revolutionary new basketball shoe. That's what this insole reads. And then this one reads, on October 18th, 1985, they were thrown out of the game. Of course, the insoles don't say anything about it being the Air Jordan 1. They just say a shoe was created on such and such date, and on such and such date, the shoe was banned. But interestingly, when you look actually at the liner right here, you'll see a date, 10/18/85. And that's off by a year. We already saw in the letter from the NBA that MJ wore the offensive pair on 10/18/84. So there's a mistake on the date on the inside of these shoes. Now, interestingly, when this pair of shoes came out on June 1st, 2011, it was released at factory stores across the nation. And the shoes are marked B grades. Now, not every pair is stamped with a B because the ink would sort of like run out and the impression on the tag and on the box isn't as clear as it is on some of the other pairs. But these shoes were all released as B grades at the outlets. The retail price was supposed to be $125, and they ended up being $109.99. Now, I always assumed that the reason for the B grade delineation was because of the flawed leather. Like when you're looking especially at the toe boxes, check out this right here with the crinkles and the creases. The right shoe is actually worse than the left shoe. See that right there? And then this pair as well. Same thing with the flawed leather. Now the quality of the leather itself is actually really nice, but the material is flawed with these crinkles and creases. Like look at this one right over here. So they all got B grades. And I always assumed that it was the leather that got them the B grade delineation. But honestly, it could be the date in here being off by a year. Nike could have caught this just before the release and said, wait, we made a mistake on here. We can't release these on the retail level. Let's just send them over to the factory stores. Of course, when a shoe gets marked a B grade or a cosmetic second, it's not like Nike tells us why, so it's sort of for us to figure out. But I swear, I always thought it was because of the flawed and creased leather and not because of the date on the inside, even though it could be one or the other. So I've got two pairs of these shoes. They're quite valuable these days. They're trading for more than $1,000 a pair, and they're B grades, which is crazy. The reason why I needed to have two pairs of these shoes is because they're very sentimental to me. I was actually banned by Nike on May 18th, 2009. And they sent me two separate letters, one to my work and one to my home, telling me basically that my business was no longer welcome at Nike. So in the ShoeZeum, I had two separate pairs of banned Air Jordan 1s on display next to these letters. We might as well break out the letter over here and check this out. I'm actually quite proud of having been banned. At first it was heartbreaking for me, but it's something that I have grown to accept and really celebrate. Not everybody gets banned from Nike. So you can see the swoosh up top. It's dated Monday, May 18th, 2009, sent via certified mail. Now actually this was sent via FedEx and I had to sign for it at both locations. Mr. Jordan Geller, my old work address. On the other letter is my old home address. Dear Mr. Geller, we have determined that Nike Retail will no longer sell products to you or accept returns from you at any Nike-owned retail location effective May 19th, 2009. This also includes any persons you ask to purchase or return products on your behalf. We appreciate your business over the years. Nike makes all decisions about the sale of its products strictly from our own independent point of view. Please know that Nike's retail salespersons are not authorized to discuss this decision with you, so please do not seek to engage them in any way regarding the future sale or return of Nike products. Very truly yours, John Arbok, Director of Stores. John went on to work at Dick's, and honestly I can't think of a better place for him. Actually, when Nike banned me from shopping at their stores, that was probably the biggest catalyst which led me to build the ShoeZeum. I had a warehouse that I was stuck in with racks that I had built and all of this inventory that I had amassed, and Nike banned me. And I decided that I was going to sell off my inventory and use the warehouse and use the racks to curate the world's greatest Nike collection. After I did this, I invited the Nike executives to come out and visit me. They ended up paying my rent for 3 months, and then when it was all said and done, they unbanned me. And here's a copy of an email that I received from the COO, Eric Sprunk, CCing Tim Hershey, who's a vice president over at Nike. He works underneath Gene Jackson in the direct-to-consumer side of their business. And what they wrote to me, the subject is shopping. Jordy, I have spoken with Tim. You are welcome back in the Nike stores. In a reminder of the obvious, please know we have policies for all of our consumers you'll be expected to follow extra closely. Shop away. This made me very, very happy. And literally within minutes of receiving the email that I was unbanned, the first thing I did was get in my car and head right over to a Nike factory store to make my first purchase in years. Anyway, it's been a great pleasure walking you through these banned Air Jordan 1s, walking through the letter from the NBA to Nike banning Michael Jordan's kicks, checking out the letter from Nike to me banning me from their stores, and then checking out the email from Nike inviting me back.